There is a fishing town in Alaska where they will literally deposit $60,000 into your bank account just for agreeing to move there and work for a year. No, this is not a pyramid scheme or a timeshare presentation disguised as opportunity. This is a place so desperate for workers that they are throwing money at anyone with a pulse and a willingness to gut fish in sub-zero temperatures. Everyone thinks remote work from a beach means Bali or Portugal or some influencer fantasy where you sip coconut water while your laptop funds itself. But here is what nobody tells you. Scattered across America are actual rural beach towns, so economically desperate, so depopulated, and so in need of workers that they are offering cash incentives that sound like they were written by someone who accidentally added an extra zero to the budget. These are the kind of deals that make you wonder what the catch is. Spoiler alert, there is always a catch, but $60,000 buys a lot of tolerance for weird catches. We are counting down 12 rural beach towns that will pay you serious money just to show up and exist there. Some offer straight cash. Others provide housing subsidies so generous your rent effectively becomes zero. And one place will throw in free land if you promise to build something and not immediately flee back to civilization. One town has more fishing boats than restaurants. Another is so remote your nearest Walmart is a 3-hour drive, and you learn to bulk shop like you're preparing for the apocalypse, because running out of toilet paper means a 6-hour round trip. And yes, one place will literally pay you $60,000, but the catch is you are working 16-hour days in conditions that make you question every life choice that led you there. Subscribe right now if you have ever realized the best paying opportunities come with the most interesting trade-offs, and that sometimes getting paid to live somewhere means the place is paying you because nobody else will go there voluntarily. Let us break it down. Number 12, Cordova, Alaska, fishing industry incentives. Cordova will pay you to work in their fishing industry with bonuses and housing subsidies that can total over $60,000 annually when you factor in what you are saving and earning. Welcome to a town accessible only by plane or boat because roads do not reach here. Cordova sits on Prince William Sound with about 2,300 people. It is one of those Alaskan towns that feels like it exists in a different century. The economy runs entirely on fishing: salmon, halibut, crab. When the boats go out, the whole town mobilizes. When the season ends, the place goes quiet in a way that makes you understand what real isolation feels like. Fishing companies offer signing bonuses that range from $10,000 to $20,000 for workers who commit to a full season. Housing is often provided or subsidized heavily, saving you another $15,000 to $20,000. Wages for processing and deckhand work range from $20 to $40 per hour depending on the job and season. Overtime is constant during peak season, which means your actual take-home can hit $60,000 or more in 6 months. Here is what makes Cordova interesting financially. Cost of living is high because everything ships in, but if housing is covered, your biggest expense disappears. Flights out are expensive, around $600 to Anchorage. But if you are not leaving often, that cost is manageable. The work is brutal. You are gutting fish for 12 to 16 hours a day in conditions that are cold, wet, and physically exhausting. The pace during salmon runs is relentless. You are processing thousands of fish daily. The catch is you earn all this money while living in a place where spending it is difficult because there is nowhere to spend it. You finish a season with a bank account that looks healthy and hands that look like you fought a glacier. One person who worked 2 seasons said they made over $70,000 in 7 months. Saved most of it because Cordova has one bar and limited shopping, and left with enough money to pay off student loans. But they also left with back pain, repetitive stress injuries, and a deep appreciation for any job that does not involve fish guts. In short, Cordova offers serious money for serious work in serious isolation. Picture yourself in Cordova during salmon season. You are working 16-hour shifts. Your hands are raw. You smell like fish permanently. But your bank account grows by thousands every week. You have housing covered. And when you finish, you walk outside to views of mountains and ocean that legitimately take your breath away. Then you realize you have been wearing the same 3 outfits for 2 months because laundry facilities are limited and shopping options are non-existent. Number 11, Unalaska, Alaska seafood processing bonuses. Unalaska, home to Dutch Harbor, will pay you more money than most entry-level corporate jobs, with bonuses and incentives exceeding $60,000 if you can handle living on a volcanic island in the Bering Sea. Unalaska has about 4,700 people and processes more seafood by weight than any other port in America. This place is the real deal. It is where deadliest catch films, because the fishing here is as dangerous and lucrative as it gets. Crab, pollock, cod. Boats unload millions of pounds, and processors work around the clock to handle it. Seafood companies offer hiring bonuses from $5,000 to $15,000 just for showing up and committing to a season. Hourly wages range from $18 to $35 depending on the position, with significant overtime during peak processing. Housing is often provided in company dormitories at no cost, saving you $20,000 to $30,000 annually. Seasonal earnings regularly hit $50,000 to $70,000 for 6 to 8 months of work. Here is the Unalaska situation. The weather is genuinely terrible. Wind, rain, and cold define most of the year. The island is beautiful in a stark, hostile way. You are surrounded by volcanic peaks and ocean, but stepping outside means getting blasted by wind that makes you question your decisions. The work is physically demanding and repetitive. You are on a processing line doing the same motions thousands of times per shift. Injuries are common. Carpal tunnel, back problems, cuts. The pace is relentless during crab season. The upside is you are making incredible money while living for free. Food is provided or heavily subsidized. You are banking almost everything you earn because spending options are limited to a couple of stores and a bar that is always packed. One processor described it as the most money they ever made and the most physically broken they ever felt. They worked 7 months, earned $65,000, lived in a dorm that was basic but functional, and left with savings that changed their financial situation. But they also left with wrist pain that took a year to fully heal and a promise to never eat seafood again. In short, Unalaska will pay you extremely well to work extremely hard in extremely harsh conditions. The money is real. The trade-offs are physical and environmental. Unalaska is far from everything. Flights to Anchorage are expensive and irregular. You cannot just leave on a whim. When you are there, you are committed. The island becomes your entire world. Some people thrive in that environment. Others break after weeks. Picture yourself finishing a shift at 3 in the morning. You walk outside and the wind nearly knocks you over. The temperature is just above freezing. It is June. You have been on this island for 4 months. Your bank account has grown by $40,000. You have no debt anymore. and you are Googling whether repetitive stress injuries are permanent. Number 10, Sitka, Alaska, healthcare worker incentives. Sitka is offering healthcare workers signing bonuses, housing assistance, and loan repayment programs that combine to over $60,000 in value if you commit to working there for a few years. Sitka has about 8,500 residents on Baranof Island in southeast Alaska. It is only accessible by plane or ferry. This place is stunning. Forests, mountains, ocean. It looks like a postcard, but it is chronically short on healthcare workers. Doctors, nurses, and technicians are in demand. Sitka Community Hospital and regional health centers offer aggressive incentives. Signing bonuses range from $10,000 to $30,000 depending on specialty and commitment length. Housing assistance provides subsidized rent or stipends of $1,000 to $2,000 monthly, effectively cutting your housing costs in half or more. Loan repayment programs offer up to $50,000 over several years to pay down student debt for physicians and specialized providers. Salaries are competitive with mainland positions, often higher to compensate for cost of living. When you combine salary, bonuses, housing help, and loan repayment, the financial package exceeds $60,000 in added value annually. Here is what Sitka offers practically. Cost of living is about 30% above the national average, but housing help offsets that significantly. The community is tight-knit. You are not anonymous. Everyone knows the healthcare workers. The scenery is incredible if you value outdoor access. Fishing, hiking, and wildlife are part of daily life. The catch is you are practicing in a remote location where resources are limited. Specialist backup is not down the hall. Complex cases get airlifted to Anchorage or Seattle. You are on call more frequently because staffing is thin, and leaving the island requires planning because flights are not constant. One nurse who relocated said Sitka paid off $30,000 in loans in 3 years, covered half her rent, and gave her a lifestyle she could never afford in Seattle. But she also worked more hours, took more call shifts, and dealt with medical situations that would have been routine referrals anywhere else. The learning curve was steep, and the responsibility was intense. In short, Sitka pays healthcare workers extremely well through multi-layered incentives that reduce debt and housing costs while providing competitive salaries. You trade that for isolation and increased professional responsibility. Think about what it means to practice medicine in a place where backup is hours away by air. You handle emergencies that make you grow professionally but also scare you routinely. You are the expert in the room because there is no one else. That responsibility builds competence fast, but it also builds stress. Picture yourself in Sitka. Your student loans are disappearing. Your rent is $800 for a place that would cost $3,000 in any major city. You finish a shift and walk 10 minutes to a trail where you see eagles and possibly bears. Then you get called back for an emergency, and the nearest specialist who can help is in Anchorage, weather permitting. Number 9, Port St. Joe, Florida. Port St. Joe offers up to $20,000 in relocation costs, tax breaks, and startup support. 3,500 people on the Panhandle, a beach town still recovering from Hurricane Michael in 2018. Programs offer grants for remote workers, moving cost assistance up to $5,000, subsidized co-working spaces, and tax incentives. Rentals run $800 to $1,500 monthly. You are effectively getting $20,000 to $30,000 in value compared to major cities. Beautiful beaches, low cost of living, but infrastructure is recovering. Internet, can be inconsistent. Hurricane risk is real. One remote worker received $4,500 in help, found rent for $1,000 that would have been $2,500 in Austin. Cost of living dropped 30%. Saving $1,500 monthly near a beach, but they upgraded internet for backups and became hyper-aware of hurricane season. Picture working from a co-working space 5 minutes from beach. Rent is half what you paid. Then hurricane season starts, and you are evacuating, wondering if cheap rent is worth this anxiety. Number 8, Eastport, Maine. Eastport offers grants and tax incentives worth up to $25,000 if you buy property and live year-round. 1,300 people at the far eastern edge of America, the easternmost city, remote, cold, economically struggling. Grants of $10,000 to $15,000 for purchasing and renovating. Reduced property taxes, small business startup grants. Houses sell under $100,000, sometimes under $50,000. Combined, you are effectively paid $20,000 to $30,000 to move. Winters are brutal, cold, dark, long. Near the Canadian border, where winter is a test of endurance. Economy is fishing and minimal tourism. Job opportunities limited unless you work remotely. One couple bought a house for $70,000, received $12,000 for renovations, paid minimal taxes, but the first winter almost broke them. Darkness by 4 p.m. Below zero. Social scene of 12 people. You are closer to Ireland than Chicago. Picture a waterfront home bought for $60,000. $15,000 in grants. Minimal taxes. Ocean views every morning. Then winter. Sun sets at 3:30. Below zero. Nearest grocery. 45 minutes away on roads not always passable. Number 7, Dulac, Louisiana. Dulac will pay you to work fishing with subsidies and housing that total $40,000 to $60,000. 2,500 people in Terrebonne Parish. Deep Cajun country. Economy is fishing, shrimping, oil. Programs offer boat and equipment access at subsidized rates or free. Housing provided or subsidized. Earnings range $40,000 to $70,000 depending on effort and season. You are working on water in heat and humidity. Long hours pulling nets. Pay is good when catch is good. Bad seasons mean income drops. You are gambling on nature and market prices. Rent runs $500 to $800. But hurricanes are constant threats. The land is literally sinking. One person made $60,000 in a good year, lived rent-free, saved most, but dealt with hurricanes, equipment failures, unpredictable livelihood. Louisiana loses a football field of land hourly. This place might not exist in 50 years. Picture a shrimp boat in the Gulf, brutal heat, excellent money, free housing. Then a hurricane warning. 2 days securing boats and evacuating. You return to damaged boats and destroyed docks. The season continues. Number 6, Pacific County, Washington. Pacific County offers oyster industry jobs with housing and bonuses exceeding $60,000 annually. 22,000 people on the Washington coast. Willapa Bay produces more oysters than anywhere in America. Signing bonuses run $5,000 to $10,000. Wages $18 to $28. Housing heavily subsidized, saving $15,000 to $20,000. Profit sharing adds $5,000 to $10,000. Your take home easily hits $60,000. You are on tidal flats at low tide harvesting oysters, cold, wet, muddy, Pacific Northwest rain most of the year. Hours dictated by tides. Your shift might start at 3 a.m. Tiny towns. Minimal entertainment. One worker made $68,000 including bonuses, lived in company housing, saved $40,000 because there was nothing to spend on, but worked in freezing rain with injuries, and spent months where social options were extremely limited. Tides control your life. You do not clock in at 9, sometimes midnight, sometimes dawn. Picture 5 a.m. Raining, knee-deep in mud, harvesting oysters. $30 an hour, free housing, and you have not had normal sleep in 3 months. Number 5, Eastport, Florida. Eastport offers grants totaling $20,000 to $40,000 for entering oyster and fishing industries. 2,400 people on Apalachicola Bay. The oyster industry collapsed, and now programs attract new workers. Grants of $10,000 to $20,000 for equipment and leases, free training, housing assistance up to $12,000 annually. Rentals run $7,000 to $1,200. Earnings range $30,000 to $60,000. The bay is recovering but struggling. Regulations limit harvesting. Income depends on environmental health and market prices. Low cost of living, beautiful beaches. But job options outside fishing are non-existent. Hurricane risk is significant. One person received $18,000 in help, made $45,000 first year, loved the independence, but faced weeks where harvests closed due to water quality. Bay oysters were once world famous. Rebuilding is slow. You are betting on ecological restoration. Picture harvesting oysters. $20,000 in grants received. Rent is $800. Your own boss. Then water quality tests come back poor. Harvesting closed 3 weeks. Income stops. You wait and learn patience. Number 4, Shishmaref, Alaska. Shishmaref offers teachers and healthcare workers packages exceeding $80,000 annually, including housing and loan repayment. An Inupiat village on a barrier island with 600 people. The village is disappearing. Coastal erosion forcing relocation. Teachers receive salaries around $60,000 plus housing, worth $20,000 to $30,000. Signing bonuses $10,000 to $15,000. Loan repayment up to $20,000. Healthcare workers receive similar packages. No roads connect to mainland. Access by plane or boat. Supplies come by plane or barge seasonally. Traditional Inupiat culture. Hunting and subsistence central. Harsh weather, below zero. Winter darkness. The village is eroding and will be abandoned. One teacher said, compensation was the best received. Saved over $50,000 in 2 years. But isolation, darkness, and cultural adjustment were harder than any job challenge. Witnessing a culture forced from ancestral land. Picture making $80,000. Free housing, saving everything. But you watch the ocean claim more land. Families losing their home. Your paycheck comes from a community in crisis. Number 3, Gustavus, Alaska. Gustavus offers seasonal positions with housing, paying $50,000 to $70,000 for 6 to 8 months. 400 year-round residents. Gateway to Glacier Bay National Park. Park positions include rangers and guides. Salaries range $40,000 to $60,000 for seasonal contracts. Housing provided free, saving $20,000 to $30,000. Tourism businesses offer similar arrangements. Total compensation $50,000 to $70,000 with housing covered. Summer is intense. Long hours serving tourists, non-stop pace, world-class scenery, glaciers, whales, bears. Housing is basic. Dorm style or small cabins. Winter is dead. Most businesses close. One ranger made $62,000 in 7 months, saw glaciers calve daily, but worked 70-hour weeks, lived in a dorm with 5 others, zero social life outside coworkers. Glacier Bay shows glaciers actively calving, witnessing climate change real time, retreating ice. Picture guiding a boat, glacier calves, tourists gasp, $70 hourly, free housing, and you are aware this glacier retreated miles in decades. Paid to witness loss disguises beauty. Number 2, Craig, Alaska. Craig offers timber and fishing positions with housing and bonuses totaling 60 to 80,000 annually. 1,200 residents on Prince of Wales Island. Timber and fishing drive the economy. Timber positions pay 40 to 60,000 with subsidized housing. Fishing offers 30 to 50,000 seasonally. Signing bonuses 5 to 15,000. Housing saves 15 to 25,000. Total packages hit 80,000. The work is physically demanding. Logging is one of the most dangerous jobs in America. Accessible only by ferry or plane, incredible scenery, temperate rainforest, ocean, mountains, cost of living high for goods, but housing covered eliminates biggest expense. One worker averaged 70,000 annually, saved over 60,000, experienced wilderness most only see in documentaries, but had close calls with falling trees, equipment failures, injuries requiring expensive medevac flights, logging mortality rates among highest, massive trees, heavy equipment, steep terrain. One mistake can be fatal. Picture working timber, substantial paycheck, free housing, dense primordial forest. Then a tree falls wrong. Coworker injured, helicopter evacuation. You finish knowing that could have been you. Number 1, King Cove, Alaska, seafood processing total packages. King Cove takes the number 1 spot for highest total compensation, offering packages that exceed $90,000 annually when you include wages, bonuses, housing, and food. King Cove sits on the Alaska Peninsula with about 900 people. This town exists for one reason: processing seafood, specifically salmon and crab from some of the richest waters in the world. The processing facilities here run virtually year-round, with different species cycling through seasons. Salmon in summer, crab in fall and winter, pollock and cod filling the gaps. Companies offer signing bonuses from $15,000 to $25,000 for workers committing to full-year contracts. Base wages range from $22 to $40 per hour depending on position and experience. Processing line workers start lower. Skilled positions and supervisors earn significantly more. Overtime is not occasional, it is structural. During peak processing, 70 to 80-hour weeks are standard. Your paycheck reflects that. Housing is provided completely free in company facilities. These are not luxury apartments, but they are functional, heated, and save you $25,000 to $35,000 annually. Meals are provided in company cafeterias at no cost or minimal cost, saving another $8,000 to $12,000 yearly. When you total base salary, overtime pay, signing bonus, housing value, and meal savings, annual compensation regularly exceeds $90,000, sometimes pushing past $100,000 for experienced workers. Here is what King Cove reality involves. The work is physically brutal and mentally numbing. You are processing thousands of pounds of fish or crab daily. The motions are repetitive. The pace is relentless. The environment is cold and wet. You are wearing layers under waterproof gear, but you are still cold. Your hands cramp. Your back aches. Injuries happen. Cuts from knives or equipment, repetitive stress on joints and tendons, slips on wet floors. The smell permeates everything. You cannot escape it. Your clothes smell. Your hair smells. You smell. And the isolation is profound. King Cove is not close to anything. The nearest city of any size is hundreds of miles away. Flights are expensive and infrequent. Weather cancellations are common. When you are here, you are committed. The social scene is the other workers. The entertainment is what you create. Internet exists, but can be unreliable. You are disconnected from the world you left. Some people thrive. They bank money. They clear debt. They save for futures. Others break. The isolation, the work, the smell, the cold, the repetitive days. It becomes too much. Turnover is high. Companies know this. It is why they pay so well. One person who worked 3 full years said they made over $270,000 total, lived completely free, and left with enough savings to buy a house outright. No mortgage, financial freedom. But they also left with chronic joint pain, a body that felt 10 years older, and a relationship that ended because long distance and isolation killed it. They said the money was worth it, but barely. In short, King Cove offers the highest total compensation of anywhere on this list, but you earn every penny through brutal work in extreme isolation, where your entire existence revolves around processing seafood. Picture yourself in King Cove. You have been here 18 months. Your bank account has $140,000. You own nothing. No debt, no obligations, pure savings. You wake up at 4 a.m. You process crab until 6 p.m. You eat. You sleep. Repeat. The mountains are beautiful when you see them. The ocean is vast. And you are counting days until your contract ends, so you can leave with money that will change your life, earned in a place that tested everything you thought you knew about yourself. These 12 towns prove a simple truth. The best paying opportunities in America are often in places most Americans would never consider living. The money is real. The catches are real. Whether the trade-off is worth it depends entirely on what you value, what you can endure, and what you are willing to sacrifice for financial gain.